sold the Fido T1 on eBay. It was a lovely experience. We sold it to a subscriber. This is actually the second time I've sold a bike to a subscriber, and it's always a super pleasant experience. The guy was jazzed to get the bike. Couldn't be happier. And like that, we have +1 to the e-bike community. Now, if somebody watching this video is also looking for a bike, don't worry, because this one is also still, as of right now, listed for sale. I'm selling both my bikes, and I am eyeing up a Sur-Ron. I feel like at this point, with 12,000 subscribers and e-bike channel, I can't not have a Sur-Ron. I just have to know what all the hype is about. But I'm not locked in necessarily to a Sur-Ron. The electric dirt bike space is way more inclusive or vast than just a Sur-Ron, and that's been a topic I've been researching a lot, and I want to present my findings to you all right now. Ooh, did you guys see that? I saw a trail. What is this little gem? So, based off my research, there's 3 categories of dirt bikes. There's the lightweight ones, which are the closest to an e-bike, just based off of power, size. And that's like the gray zone of the law. In this category, we have, of course, the Sur-Ron, 120 pounds, 6,000 watt motor, stock, has the peak power. The battery on the Sur-Ron is 60 volt, 38 amp hours. And aside from the power and the great suspension of electric dirt bikes, that's kind of the main reason why I want to upgrade to one of these devices. I ride my bike a lot, and the battery capacity is essentially my #1 thing. And 38 amp hours at 60 volts, you're not going to find an e-bike that comes anywhere close to that. I mean, even this bike here, the whole reason why I upgraded it was to get a larger battery. But even so, this is only 19.2 amp hours. And in case you're wondering, yes, there's been multiple occasions where I actually have to pedal this bike home because I've ran out of juice. And that's just never fun. It's a limiting factor, and these dirt bikes with much larger batteries is a solid remedy to that problem. But okay, so aside from the Sur-Ron, in this category, we also have the Talaria. This is very similar in terms of price. It's almost identical, $4,400. Battery, again, it's almost identical specs, 60 volts, 38 amp hours. I think even the peak power is the exact same, 6,000 watts. I don't think the Talaria, unless you have a specific reason to want it over a Sur-Ron, I don't think it's really worth it, because, as mentioned, it's identical to a Sur-Ron in every way, but you have to do oil changes. And a huge advantage of electric vehicles is the lack of oil changes. They do this in order to avoid having a primary belt, which apparently on the Sur-Ron, every now and again, you need to change it out. But I would much rather change a belt than have to change oil, personally speaking. But aside from the Talaria and the good old Sur-Ron, there is actually one more bike in this category. It's brand new. I have mentioned it before on this channel. In fact, I think I was the first one to ever pick up on this bike, but it's the Raw Mantis. Again, we're looking at a 60 volt battery, 35 amp hours, I think. It's a bit more expensive, $5,000, but it's also more powerful. This comes in at 7,500 watts peak. Because this bike is brand new, there's not many videos on YouTube of the bike yet, but from what I've seen, it's pretty powerful. So that's the light electric dirt bike space. It's kind of a gray zone in the law. You can kind of use them as e-bikes if you ride them slow and respectfully. The next category is full-size electric dirt bike. So this is if you actually want to use it as a dirt bike. Here we also have the Sur-Ron, the Storm-B. I'm sure you guys probably know about this. It's much heavier. We're talking like 200 plus pounds, but the power level is on a completely different level. It's 22.5 kilowatts peak power of the motor. The battery is 104 volts, 55 amp hours. And I think it comes in at a much more expensive $9,000, something in that range. Awesome bike, but clearly a different use case. We also have the KTM, I think it's the EX. This is their only electric dirt bike offering, and it's very similar to the Storm-B. It's big, it's heavy, much more powerful. Between these two offerings, the KTM and the Sur-Ron Storm-B, I think the Storm-B, if you can get your hands on it, is the much better deal, because the price tag of the KTM is significantly more. It's like $14,000, and it's actually less powerful. It's only 18 kilowatts. Ooh, which way do I want to go? Let's try this. So yeah, only 18 kilowatts, and the battery, I don't know what the voltage is. I couldn't see what the amp hour and voltage of the battery is. They only list it as a total watt hour capacity of 3.9 kilowatts. For context, the Storm-B at 104 volts, 55 amp hours, you just multiply those two numbers together to get the total watt hour capacity, and that's like 5,700 watt hours. So I think we have a clear winner if you're looking for a full-size electric dirt bike. But we do have a third category that's beginning to emerge, and this is right between the light e-bike-esque electric dirt bikes and the full-size. And the only bike in this category so far is the new Sur-Ron Ultra. It comes in at 187 pounds. The Sur-Ron Light B is 120 pounds. The Storm-B and the full-size ones are 200 plus. So it's right there in the middle, a mid-size electric dirt bike. The price is also very compelling. The Ultra is $6,500 base, and you get an awesome bang for the dollar. The battery is 74 volt, 55 amp hours. That's a watt hour capacity of 4,000, and the motor on the Ultra is 12.5 kilowatts. That's a good number. So bringing this back to me, the star of the show, of course. When it comes to my decision here after doing this research, the Sur-Ron Light B has a huge advantage simply due to its popularity and the aftermarket of upgrades you can do to it. You can easily get a 72 volt battery, change out the controller, you can even put pedals on it. So that is a huge advantage of the Sur-Ron Light B simply due to its popularity that the Talaria doesn't fully have yet, and the brand new Mantis certainly doesn't have. But if you plan on doing those upgrades to the Sur-Ron Light B, of a bigger battery, stronger motor, better controller, it makes a lot of sense to just get the Ultra from day one, because it essentially has those upgrades. That's the difference between the two models. The main hurdle is the size. As mentioned, it's a little bit bigger than the Ultra, not full size quite yet, but whether or not you can get away with riding the Ultra as an e-bike remains to be seen. This is a dead end. How do I get back that way? And my battery's already down to 62 volts. I only went about 5 miles. Maybe it's the cold. Reducing my range. Ugh. Speaking of the cold, I'm going to put on my heated gloves. I've been loving these things, by the way. If you guys do winter riding, I think these are the best option. I'll leave them linked down below. They're not super hot by any means, but it does make a difference, especially if you suffer from cold hands. But yeah, let me know in the comments, are you guys on the same train of thought as me with the Light B versus the Ultra? But regardless of this issue, if you're looking for an electric dirt bike, Sur-Ron with the Light B, the Ultra, and the Storm-B completely dominate the market. They offer a tremendous value when you look at their price to spec ratio versus the competition. Another e-biker. Speaking of the Sur-Ron, there we go, one in the wild. So that's the discussion for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like. It goes a long way in helping with the YouTube algorithm. And it's also just a big ego boost for me personally. As always, this is an open discussion. I'm not an expert, so let us know your thoughts and experiences in the comments below so we can all benefit from it. But with all that said, that's the end of the video. Ooh, look at this car. Ooh! One day those two will be electric, and I can't wait to see that happen. I feel like every day I see more and more electric cars, e-bikes. We just saw a Sur on the road. It's very exciting to see. It's a movement. But that's going to do it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.